Hi everybody, just thought I'd give you a brief demo of my NRF24L01 transmitter receiver. What I've done is I've kept track of the number of the package that I'm sending, the actual value, and some text which I wanted to transmit, called text to be transmitted. On the other side, I'm getting the package number and then the total received, and they seem to be relatively matched. You have to take into account that when I print out the total received, first I print it and then I increment it, so it's always off by 1, but that's all right. And so the actual number received is matching pretty closely, if not identically, with the number transmitted, and so we seem to have a reasonably good range. Our setup on this is just as you see here, two machines right next to one another. And what you can do is you can separate them with a wide variety of different interferences, such as your body or glass of water or piece of metal, whatever you like. And then you can interfere with the transmissions. I've got things set up so that we're transmitting at minimum power. Minimum power is a requirement for these devices because the power supplies do not tolerate a lot of drop in voltage. So when I set my power level, I set it at minimum for the transmit, and I also set it at minimum for the receive. I've been running this at about 250,000 bits per second because, well, speed has not been an issue. I just wanted some reliability. And we're calling this temperature data, but it could be any kind of data you like that you're transmitting from one place to the other. The transmission package is coming in by default on pins 9 and 10, and that's what you expect for your chip enable and chip select when you're using these shields over in here. In fact, these are unpopulated jacks which can be used to sense connections that are being made from a joystick or buttons or whatever you like. The actual system itself is based on the 3 volts that's coming off the Arduino. That's quite limited in terms of the amount of current that can be drawn, and so we do try to minimize that by reducing our power transmitter right in through here, setting the power to minimum. You can change this to maximum, but if you do, things won't necessarily work properly. Just to show you the issue here, we'll change to maximum and we'll do an upload. And now we'll go back to the receiver and see if we can get things to start to work properly again. So we can see the total received has been reset. We'll turn auto scroll on. He seems to be doing pretty well on the receiver because he's not actually transmitting anything. So the tricky bit then would be to turn the power maximum on for the transmitter. So you do something like that, and then you've got to disconnect your CoolTerm because that's a separate monitor for the transmitter. And then you've got to look at where CoolTerm is set up at 11.420, and then you've got to change your port, that's your transmitter, to 11.420. So somewhere in here there's going to be a way to select the port. Here it is, 11.420. We'll upload the transmitter now, this time with max power. Now he's done. We'll reconnect, and now we'll go back to the receiver and take a look at the monitor, changing the port back to the receiver's port, opening up our monitor, and let's see what happens. So now we see we're transmitting, but we're losing a lot of packets just because the transmitter is being fairly loaded down. So it would make sense to have a separate power supply if you really wanted to use full power for transmission. You could see here's a 215. He's barely able to keep up. He can't keep up at all. Now let's change the power back to minimum and see what the difference is here. We'll disconnect our cool term. We'll change our port back to 11420. Do our upload. Reconnect. Change our port for the receiver. Look at the monitor. And now we're back to a regularly scheduled reception where things are going at reasonable speed. And what you can do to reset everything, you can hold down the reset button on the receiver and then reset the transmitter. And so the receiver should come up first, and then the transmitter comes in, and things look like they are relatively synchronized. So having the transmitter down at minimum power is a critical step to getting these things to function properly. Hope you like my little demo. Thanks a bunch. Boy.